Getting old is out of our control. I may only be 27, now with 2 kids, a dog and the love of my life, but life doesn't have to slow down. The much younger single Kenton loved going fast, he loved excitement, and he loved fun. Although I'm not quite middle-aged, I may have had a crisis. So this is my 2007 Citroen C4 Lobe Edition, one of only 400, and it's fast. Being reunited with speed, excitement and fun has given me the excuse to build another bike. So this is my new bike. It's a Raleigh M-Trax 500, partly titanium. It's going to be fast, it's going to be fun, it's going to be exciting, with the code name Crisis. So let's make a plan. So we've got the frame. Easiest place to go from here is the wheels and tyres. Yeah, so Mavic should do. For those of you who know me by now, I have quite a big addiction to Mavic wheels. I'm a man of small taste. When I find something I like, I kind of stick with it. That's why this is the second M-Trax that I'm building. Now if you're wondering how come I've got so much kit and parts everywhere, it's because I actually have a vintage store. So everything in this video you see, apart from the finished build, is actually listed on Vinted. So if you're interested in any parts, I'll leave the link here for my Vinted. So go and check it out. We're going to need a saddle, and amongst my big box of different saddles that are also up for sale, I do have one that I particularly bought a while ago, quite a rare one. It's this here, it's the Raleigh R1 saddle. There's a small little nick in the back right corner of it, but I just sharpied over it so I could deal with the pain. We're going to need a stem adapter to be able to fit these handlebars because it is a 1-inch threaded headset. So we're going to need a quill stem adapter so we can actually fit these handlebars and a new stem. We're going to need a stem. I've had a look through and this sort of white core one looks like it might do the trick. Not too sure on the white, but we'll see. Funnily enough, this white core stem that I do put on then take off actually sold while making this video. We're also going to need a good set of handlebars, something a little bit strange, something a bit of zhuzh. As you'll know, I do love a bit of zhuzh on bikes, and I like a bit of flair. Sometimes I like them to look a bit ugly. I think it sets it aside. So now that we've got the majority of the parts ready, it's time to hang the bike up and see what we've got to work with. The paint on the bike doesn't seem to be awfully bad, and for a bike that's probably a lot older than me, it's not in bad shape. And it does look like it's had a recently new fitted bottom bracket. However, down the steerer tube does look a little bit crispy. Just a little bit crispy. So we're going to have to sort that out at some point. So let's fit the wheels first. So these Mavic wheels actually have a really nice set of Continental gravity tyres. They are 2.3, so they are pretty wide. In saying that, they're quite fast as well. I quite like the aggressive look of them. As you also know, I do love a good set of Continental tyres and inner tubes. With these wheels and tyres being 2.3s, the front is a bit skinny for that. So we're going to have to do my old trick and stick a car jack in there. Now it's not awfully advised, but bearing in mind it is a steel frame, well, the part that I'm bending is steel, we should be okay. It is called cold setting, but we should hopefully get away with it. At least just to get the wheel fitted. You see, my madness has a bit of thought behind it. The wheels actually fit now. And I think they look great. I love how bulky they look. I like that the tyres look sharp with the nice triangular grip on there. I think the black and yellow really goes well with the pink and silver accents. I'm starting to sound like an Art Attack person, but in other words, I'm digging it. The next job on the list is to fit this Raleigh R1 saddle. The nice thing about this bike is it already came with a Raleigh Dynatech seat post. So it should be pretty easy to fit the saddle. Raleigh to Raleigh. With the saddle fitted, we had to sort out the stem adapters. But I ran into a bit of a problem. I had to go through 3 different stem adapters. Each one seemed to be a little bit too small, and we ended up settling on the 25.4, which in my opinion, and your probably opinion, means it's not a 1-inch stem adapter, it's a 1/1/8. I did grease it up and I did clear the steerer tube out, so it's not as crispy anymore. At this point I did realise I didn't quite like the white core stem on there, and luckily it also sold at the same time, so I changed over to this. It's an FSA stem with a bit of a carbon fibre faceplate on it, which would go nicely with these carbon fibre spacer rings. I think we're getting the zhuzh. We're getting the drive. We're making it look good. Now we can fit the nice looking handlebars, and because we've got that nice FSA carbon faceplate, we can just take that off and clip the bars straight on. Looking at the bike so far, I'm really liking the wheels, the saddle and the handlebars. I think everything looks really good. I think the fact that we changed over to the FSA stem looks a lot better than the white stem that we already sold. Luckily. Like I say, I do like to have a good bit of zhuzh on my bikes, to make them a little bit ugly, a little bit quirky. And I've had a set of lights put aside from one of my old lights video, and it's these bug eyes. And I think they'll look just perfect on this bike. Don't ask me where I got these lights from, they are probably from a man in China. They are pretty cool. They do come with 2 different kind of battery packs that you have to plug in. You can either get a big one or a small one. I do have a matching torch that I can put on my helmet. It's a different shape, but takes the same batteries. And it just clicks onto your helmet and it has a battery pack. So, as far as I'm aware, it's a pretty cool looking bike light. Now yes, I know we're missing cranks and drivetrain and brakes and a few other different bits and bobs. But it's a good start. I like to get the rough outline of the bike in the first place and then go from there. A good start. So where do we go from now? Next idea is really the running gear we're missing and the brakes. So if you've got an idea of what we could put on, something a little bit strange, a little bit under the ordinary, let me know in the comments down below and see what else I should put on this bike. Maybe some bar tape. I kind of like the idea of it being a bit Aztec-y, a little bit Mexican, a little bit speedy. So here we are. This is the Raleigh M-Trax 500 so far. It's always kind of been a bit of a bike dream for me to have sort of a bug-eye looking bike like this. I really like the ugly looking geeky style of it. Of course I have a bunch of plans for the future to be doing other bits and bobs to it, including the cranks and the pedals, bar tape, brakes. There's a lot of things we need to be doing. I'll most likely be taking this one a little bit slower and get it right. I've got a few other bikes that I'm ready to start building as well and bring across a bit more of these videos. A little less going out on bike rides, a bit more of actually building the bike. The interesting part. I do also have another M-Trax in purple. I'll link the video somewhere here or at the end of the video. Now I actually seem to have all of the parts that I need to finish the bikes. I have the brakes, I have the cranks, I have the pedals, and probably some other bits that it might need, who knows. Now these parts are actually quite high performance and quite lightweight. If you know me, like the rest of this video has been calling you out, if you do know me, leave a comment down below if you think you know what parts they might be. On the brakes, the cranks and the pedals at least. Especially if you follow me on Instagram, I'll leave the link here, you'll probably already know what these parts are. They're things I've been hoarding for a while, trying to find the right bike for them to fit on. But we might have to take the bottom bracket out. That's your only clue. Anyway guys, thank you ever so much for watching the video, and if you have enjoyed it, please hit the like and subscribe button, and click the hype button. It kind of boosts the video for more people like you can watch this video too. Head over to my Instagram on Raleigh-Bikes and check out my vintage store. Maybe I'll do you a good deal if you let me know you watched this video. As always guys, thank you ever so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.